Question and Action Friday. Hi, welcome to Bilingual Family TV, the place to be if you want to create meaningful relationships with your child while learning Spanish. And today we have a question from one of our bilingual families. And the question is, my kids, ages 12, 10, and 9, understand me when I speak Spanish, but are not comfortable speaking back to me in Spanish, except when obligated. Any suggestions of summer workbooks to assist with speaking more to me? Husband does not speak Spanish, and no other family around. Thanks. So my first response to this question is that you do not need any workbooks. In fact, the things that matter the most cannot be fixed with workbooks, curriculum, online programs, apps, none of that. The most important things in life are based on relationships and on real and meaningful interactions. So that is the number one thing that I want to let you know, is that you have to focus on the relationship that you have with your children. Now, in order to really create a good relationship, not only with your children, but also that your children have a good relationship with the language, that they see Spanish as a fun thing, I have created a quick acronym, and it is CPR. And the reason I call it the CPR is because sometimes as adults we forget how to be playful, and we forget how to bring the fun into everything that we do. And so CPR sort of brings you back to life, and it helps you connect with your children at a deeper level. So the C stands for compelling. So if, for example, your daughter, your 12-year-old or your 10-year-old really enjoys baking, then do baking in Spanish. Then have your baking time in Spanish. And when the content, when the activity is so compelling, so interesting to them, they almost forget that you're speaking in the second language. So it's easier for them to reply in the language as well. Compelling activities are simply activities that your children are interested in. So that can be playing a sport in Spanish, that can be cooking, doing art, getting your nails done if you have an older daughter who's into beauty, anything like that. It has to be interesting outside of the language. It doesn't matter what language it's in, the actual content has to be interesting to them. The second letter is P for playful. So in every interaction that you have with your child in the target language, you want to make sure that there is an overall atmosphere of playfulness and fun. Because we know that for children, playfulness and fun is sort of like the currency of childhood. So you have to make sure that they want to take part in that interaction with you. So one of the main ways of making that happen is to make it fun. And the third letter is R for responsiveness. Now, in our techie world and in our phone addiction, we have really lost the ability to be present, to be in the moment, and to be really available for our children and for our loved ones. And so one of the ways that you can sort of practice responsiveness and practice presence is to put your phone away, at least during the time that you are doing this compelling activity with your child. Because even though you may not be on your phone the whole time, every time you pick it up, every time you glance at it, it sends a message to your child that whatever is going on your phone is more important than they are. So even very young children can pick up on this, and it can really damage the relationship. So I just encourage you to put your phone away. If you want, I actually at my house bought a little bird cage, and when I want to keep my phone away, I put it in the little cage, and it's a visual reminder that the phone is in timeout, or the phone is just out of reach at the moment, and it needs to stay there. So that's just a little tip. Now, in terms of actually getting responses in Spanish, I have created a whole video about getting replies in Spanish, but here's just a quick review of that. Make sure that when you ask a question, you give the possible answers within the question so that your children can hear possible responses and simply repeat what they hear. So an example is, ¿quieres ir a comer helado o quieres ir a comer hamburguesas? So then they hear the two possible answers instead of ¿qué quieres comer? So what do you want to eat is a very open-ended question. And so for someone who's not comfortable speaking Spanish, they're going to get stuck right there. But if within the question you ask, would you like to go eat ice cream or would you like to go eat hamburgers, then the words eat hamburgers and eat ice cream are within the question and they can use those as replies. Also, if your child replies to you in English, you can repeat their answer back in Spanish as if you're checking for understanding, but you're really giving them the vocabulary that they could use in the future to reply to your questions. So I hope that this was helpful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you want even more resources, head over to bilingualfamily.us. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, second language acquisition is all about relationships. Adios.